change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been
Well, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along. It is round 3 of season 3 of Adrenaline GT's ACC Championship, and we are here this week at Indianapolis for an hour of racing. We were 2 weeks ago at Suzuka for 2 super sprints that did a lot to spice up the championship, and Mazzanetti outscored his championship rival Josh Struick by only 1 point, which brought the championship points even closer. What will happen this week as we go racing for an hour at not the Indy Oval, the Indy Road Course, one of the most challenging tracks on the calendar, And I am certainly looking forward to what happens this evening. I, of course, am your host, lead commentator, Isaac Fogarty. It's a pleasure to have you along for the journey this evening. And alongside me in the booth, as always this season, we welcome back our favourite Scottish commentator, John Wright. John, very good evening to you. Looking forward to having you along this evening and be back in the booth with you and all the racing that's going to happen tonight at Indy.
Indeed, yes. Good evening, Isaac, or good morning to anyone that's in the same part of the world as me. Suzuka certainly living up to the super moniker. I do think that it's a bit of a shallow compliment, though, because I am the only Scottish person you know, let alone the only Scottish commentator. So that by default makes me the favourite. Sad times. But no, absolutely a pleasure once again to be with you, Isaac. And yeah, absolutely looking forward to this. As you say, those two races that we had last time out with Suzuka, absolutely on a knife edge all the way down to the wire. It's the Brickyard Showdown tonight, and yes, it could be an interesting one, especially as you and I have kept a wither eye on the horizon. Might make things interesting for the drivers here today. Fingers crossed, rain dance mode engaged. Let's get it.
Absolutely. We've been keeping a very close eye on that weather. And there is a bit of cloud cover that's come across towards the end of practice. Will that increase across qualifying in the race? Maybe bring some rain? We can only hope and find out. We've never had a wet race at AGT before. Could today be the day? It would certainly throw a spanner in the works. Let's have a look at where we are this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Indianapolis. 3.9 kilometers. That should be kilometers, not meters. And 15 corners. It's a high tyre wear rating around here, expected to be fairly harsh on the tyres. It's been the case with the first three circuits we've been to this season. They ask a lot of the tyres. 15 minutes of qualifying, which has just gotten underway. We'll get down there very, very shortly to bring you the end of that. And then a 60-minute race with a required pit stop for tyres. The pit lane transit time this evening, I put that in there. It is very important. 79 seconds with a pit stop, which is 83% of your lap. The last thing you want to do is overshoot your pit box and cause yourself more time in that pit lane, because that's a long time to be in the pits here, and it's the highest percentage of a lap that we have in terms of how long you're in the pits on anywhere in this calendar. Well, I should say anywhere on the game, actually, I believe. Yeah, so, yeah, very long pit lane. Long time to be spending trundling down it. The last thing you want this evening as well is a drive-through. You'll lose 49% of your lap if you do that. The AGT lap record around here, 1:35.412 by Matt Donetti. That was very, very close to being beaten in practice alone. So could we see that beaten in qualifying? And we'll have to find out. But it is a very quick time. Yeah, looking forward to this format this evening. The points, where does everyone stand at the moment? It is Josh Struick at the top of the standing still, but it's only 12 points now. Back to the reigning champion, Matthew Donetti. And then 32 points back to Simon Bishop, who jumps up into third after the last round at Suzuka. Max Silva stays in fourth in the points. Aidan Holton stays in fifth as well, 59 points back. Paul Leon drops to sixth in pretty much a straight swap between himself and Simon Bishop. And Braden Henderson holds on to seventh in the standings for now. Looking at your Pro-Am, it's closing up at the front end. Barton and Mark Hurley still first and second. Barton leading the way, but now it's a 4-point gap between those two. A little bit of a swing towards Mark Hurley after that last round at Suzuka. Mick Toward moves into third position. Anthony Burrows in fourth. Josh Gordon in fifth. Bowen Piper jumps all the way up into sixth place for Defy Motorsports 2 after a great round at Suzuka. And Peter Sargent makes it makes all four, I should say, TTR cars inside that top 7 in the Pro-Am Championship. Having a look at our team standings as well. BCG now lead the way. So we had a change in the lead after round 1, and it's now a 15-point gap back to CP Motorsports. And then Matt Simmons and Paul Leon sit third for BCG 3. Then it's Highland Motorsports 1. Defy Motorsports still holding on to that 5th place spot. TTR West Side, TTR East Side in 6th and 7th. Team XV Primer and Defy Motorsports 2 and Highland Motorsport 2 jump inside the top 10 now, replacing CP Motorsports 2. John, a few changes in the championship standings, but again, given it's only early in the season, there is potential tonight that it could change even further.
Indeed, yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. Sorry, BCG team name always catches me out because of the injection you get at high school. But yeah, the chopping and changing, as you say, it's been a bit up and down. Bit annoying that Matt Donetti's up at the top of everything, though. I mean, he's got the fastest lap. His team's up at the top. We need to nerf this guy somehow. I'm beginning to seriously dislike him, if I'm being honest. We'll see what you can do here. We'll see what you can do here tonight, though, of course, here at Indianapolis. As you say, an absolutely historic track. 1909, the oval was originally built. The road track didn't come in until 2000. So, yeah, quite a bit of history before the beautiful road course that we see at the moment. And it's going to be, yeah, an interesting one tonight. But, yeah, the teams, it's looking very close between those top two, Isaac. And it's going to be an absolute battle between those team members out there today. As you say, in practice, they were looking very quick indeed. So that lap record might fall. But we'll see how the teams pan out during the race, because of course qualifying, it's vanity, whereas finishing position in the race, that is the sanity the drivers seek.
Yeah, it certainly is. Qualifying, it would be nice to be at the front of the grid, but at the end of the day, you want to be at the front of the grid when it comes to the end of the race. So qualifying, we've got about 10 minutes to go, so we may as well jump down on track and say good day to our drivers and see what's happening as the first amount of times start to come in. Here we are, and on your screen is Martinetti. He is the defending champion, the man that holds the lap record at this circuit at the moment. Does he come across the line? Does he improve this time around? He does. He jumps to the top with a 35.7. 35.4 is what we were seeing in practice. Simon Bishop's actually just jumped to the top with a 35.5. So the times are starting to improve as drivers get into their second and third laps in this session. Only 6 sets of tyres available this evening. 2 will be set aside for the race. So depending on how many you used in practice will be how many you have a set available for this qualifying session. Most drivers will have 2, maybe 3 if they only used 1 set in practice. So that will all depend on their tyre usage behaviour. But it looks like at the moment, John, it's business as usual. BCG won first and second, albeit in the order they finished in. Suzuka, Simon Bishop on top, Martinetti in second place.
Indeed, yeah, they are mimicking what we saw earlier. Sorry, I've just been unceremoniously disconnected from the server, so I will jump back in and check out your screens here. But yeah, 35.5 up the top, only 0.2 of a second, less than 0.2 of a second separating the top 3 at the moment. That is how close they are. And remember, folks, as Isaac pointed out, this track is 2.6 miles long, 4 kilometres, and they're matching times to within 0.2 of a second. It'll be an interesting one, being a stats geek such as myself, to see who takes the purple sectors around here. That is going to be a very interesting one, and see which manufacturers actually take the... Oh, screw it. Wow.
And there goes the lap record, ladies and gentlemen. That's been broken in the first half of quali. 35.36. That beats the record of a 35.41. So, unfortunately, Martinetti has been unceremoniously usurped by Josh Struick, the man that is in the seat he was in this time last season. He's taken his drive and he's taken his lap record.
Indeed, yeah, no messing about, but there is still 7 minutes left for Dernetti and the rest of the gang to try and come back at him. So I think if I was a betting man, Isaac, I would have folding money on that lap record dropping at least another once, if not twice, before the end of the session. And just to put that in perspective, folks, the drivers are currently dealing, as you can see the top right there, with a 37-degree track temperature. Now, I can assure you, that is not the type of temperature that is conducive to long tyre life or extra grip. The tyres will be blistering something fierce, especially through that infield section. So the fact they're managing to get as much grip as they are and get the times that they are, yeah, they really are going to destroy this lap record. If we see a couple of degrees even fall off that track temp, I think race lap times are going to be even quicker. So the quality time might fall, but I think it's going to get even faster. Oh, and look at Henderson.
Oh, look at
4
that.
thousandths of a second. That is absolutely wildly close. So now 0.2 of a second separate the top 4.
Yeah.
2.5 tenths separate
closer.
the top 6.
It is ridiculous at the moment. We've got a couple cars stopped. The 11 is trying to go back to the pit lane. We've got a couple cars that are going to jump on fresh tyres. We have 6 minutes remaining in this session, so enough time to get back, get yourself a set of tyres, and get a lap or two in. We're seeing probably the optimum time set on the second lap on these sets of tyres at the moment. But as you said, 37-degree track temperature. Simon Bishop runs very wide there. That will be the end of that lap. He's wrecked that one. Don't think we'll see an improvement on this occasion from him. 28 car is about to come across the line. Where is the 28 car? All the way down here. That is Porsche GT, Jaden DeWitt. Does he improve across the line? He does not on this occasion. Simon Bishop also will not improve at this time. So we're keeping a close eye on all the drivers as they come towards the line. And this is our screen Max Honeybun for Defy Motorsports 1. Does he improve across the line? Does, only so slightly though. Sayers across the line. Where does he sit? He sits 27th and will stay there for now. Drivers on out laps at the moment. But yeah, that is a very close gap between Josh Struick and Braden Henderson. And yeah, as you said, top 6 drivers, about 2.5 tenths. Second is, or just under a second away, is Rowie Nicholson in 10th. And I would imagine, given the pace of these drivers, we'll see that fall and more drivers potentially be within a second before the end of this session. We'll keep an eye on that as we get around. G'day to everybody watching along, and people saying g'day in the chat. We saw Porsche in there earlier. That's Jaden DeWitt, who's out there on track at the moment, and Wayne Tanner, I believe, is also out on track somewhere at the moment. Let's see if we can not find him. There he is, in 23rd place. He's about to come across the line. We'll see if he improves his time this time around. Max Silva is about to set a time as well. See if he jumps up. Wayne Tanner jumps to 20th. Max Silva is in 6th. So Max Silva, or 7th, sorry. So he has jumped up a couple spots into 7th. Wayne Tanner jumps back to the lane. Plenty of time to get on another set of tyres, get out again. This is the pointy end of the session, though, John. So we're going to start to see some real fast laps coming into play. It's who can improve before the 4 minutes of this session is up.
Indeed, yeah, apologies. I do appear to have been completely ejected from the server, and it's now not showing in the list, so I don't think I'm going to get back in. I'll keep an eye on it. Is it coming back? Pinging servers, it's thinking about it. But yeah, we'll keep an eye. I'll just keep an eye on your screen share just now.
Yep.
Yeah, not sure what's going on there. Sorry, so I've completely lost track of the question that you just asked me. But yeah, it's very quick drivers doing very quick things. It's ridiculous once again. Sorry. Love technology.
Oh, it's so fun, isn't it?
Completely stuck pinging this.
It always works
really
exactly
is.
when you want it to work when you want it to. So it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's great.
said no one ever.
Yeah, no, yeah. My computer works perfectly fine. Said absolutely no one. But
correct.
all good. We do have a screen share, so hopefully you'll be able to at least see what's happening on track. Make sure that Joker bloke isn't sandbagging. Says Ferbs. Look, I have to say he's in 15th. I think he's doing okay at the moment. He's just 1.1 seconds away. He's in the pits, so he probably won't come back out again at this stage, I would imagine, unless he's on his way out now. But I'd imagine that'll be the end of it for Bob Norley. Hopefully we can see you back soon, sir. Bowen Piper, out of nowhere, jumped up into the front row within 300ths of a second. So he's just eclipsed Braden Henderson, who's just come across the line. Not improved on that occasion. Matt Donetti. Here is Matt Donetti. Where is Josh Struick? Josh Struick's actually about to come across the line to complete a lap. Will this be an improvement for our man on provisional pole? It is not on that occasion. So he stays first, obviously, but does not improve his lead in first. Simon Bishop, where is he? Coming through the first sector now. These guys are in a little bit of traffic, though. This is going to cause problems at the end of this session. Matt Donetti, Simon Bishop, and I believe Matt Simmons as well, also finding themselves in traffic. Matt Simmons has now cleared the car that he was next to. That is one of the TTR Audis. But this is going to be very, very interesting. We have 2 minutes to go. If you get to the line within the next 30 seconds, you could get 2 laps in. But anything after about 1:36, you probably won't get a second lap in. So this will be another chance for Matt Simmons. Who else will get a shot at another lap here? Matt Simmons doesn't improve on that occasion. Does Matt Donetti improve across the line? No, he does not. So it's getting to crunch time now, John, and it doesn't seem that things are going the way some of these guys would imagine at the end of this session.
Indeed, yeah, that track temperature is going to be absolutely killing the tyres, as I say. The blistering that the drivers will be getting is going to be absolutely incredible. Wad Judges did just get a time set, 7 seconds down. Farmer Still not got a time set, so we've got one driver not got a time set, and the drivers up at the front have pretty much all set exactly the same time, 400 separating Henderson, Piper and Struick. It is absolutely ridiculously close, and it's 3 different manufacturers as well, Isaac, which is what I really, really, really love. We've got 4 different manufacturers in the top 5, and we don't see a repetition unless we go to the top 6. And of course, Max Silver, now, bit of a spoiler alert here, Max Silver actually took the fastest Sector 3 in practice while only setting the 6th fastest time.
That's interesting.
So, goes to show you how quick the Nissan is in Sector 3. So he could be a real problem for a lot of the drivers come the end of the first and second lap. If he can hang in there through the opening first 2 sectors, he could really do a number on the drivers ahead of him come the end of the first lap, as I say, because that Nissan GT3 is flying in Sector 3. And I think at the moment, he is still the fastest driver in Sector 3, despite being 4/10 off the actual pole position pace with 9 seconds left to go. So Silver could be one to watch. That's Dernetti just coming across the line there. A 10th and a half.
It is close at the top. Max Silver, this will be his last lap. Oh, and he's got it loose at the second last corner. And this might not be an improvement now. If he was up, he certainly won't be. And that scrubbed away any improvement he was going to make. He's sitting in 7th at the moment. And he will stay there. And Mazzanetti is getting his last push up. He's got traffic in front of him, though. I think Matt Simmons is done. He's back in the lane. Braden Henderson is back in the lane. So is Bowen Piper and Josh Struick. Simon Bishop is back in the lane. So Matt Zanetti's the only one pushing on with this in that front group. Riley Nicholson has crossed the line. He's half a second away up into 8th. Josh Struick improved. He did a 35.2 in the end. So he's actually gone faster. We did miss that, unfortunately. But he has improved. So the gap has gotten bigger at the front of this field. And it now means that only 10th place is a second away. Is there anyone else out there that can still improve? And Aston Martin goes wide at the penultimate corner. That's car 47, Nathan Hutton. He threw his lap away. Will not improve on this occasion. Matt Zanetti. Is it going to be anything for this, for the reigning champion? Is he across the line? Anything he will take to move forward? Can he get to the front row or even on pole? What is it going to be? He does improve, but it's not enough to get him up a position. It's only 5 thousandths of a second, and that is the conclusion of qualifying. And that will be our grid, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get the times up for you now to have a very quick look at, or a very detailed look, I should say, not quick at all. And the fastest sectors shared around between those top 3. Josh Struick on pole in the end with a 35.2, blitzed the previous standing record from Matt Zanetti, and Bowen Piper on the front row of the grid in that Ford Mustang. That Mustang looks very quick.
Yeah, the Mustangs are looking quick. 3 manufacturers up in the top, each taking a purple sector each. Max Silver right at the end there, very nearly getting himself involved, and I can confirm his Sector 3 time it's slower than Piper's, but it's quicker than Struick and Henderson. Yep. So he's got a 10th of a second advantage, it seems, in that Nissan, in that final sector. And as I say, that is going to make for an interesting proposition for the drivers trying to find their way past. But as you said, the time's ridiculously close. We've got a second separating the top 13. There's 2 thousandths of a second separating Piper and Henderson, 400ths separating Dernetti and Bishop. It is wildly close. Silver and Nicholson, that is going to be some battle. The Nissan versus the Aston. These two, just under half a second off the top time on the tower at the moment. Can confirm though, all 33 drivers did manage to get themselves a time set. Wow. Not with a fully representative time there, but certainly Farmer with a 1 minute 39.2, and DeWitt down at the bottom of the field with a 38.9. So yeah, good to see all 33 drivers getting a time set around this very tricky course. But that one, I did say we'd see that fastest lap fall multiple times during the quali session, and Struick certainly not disappointing. And doing it in a Porsche.
Yep.
The car, not exactly known for its top-end speed, Isaac, is doing things on a high-speed course.
Absolutely. Not known for it at all. Let's have a quick look at what the qualifying results were, what the entire order is. We'll run you through now. Josh Druick, Bowen Piper will share the front row first and second. Then it's Braden Henderson, Matt Donetti on, well, you could combine their names together for that second row of the grid. Matt Henderson, if you really wanted to. Simon Bishop, Matt Simmons on row number 3, 5th and 6th. Max Silver, Riley Nicholson, row number 4. Michael Toward and Aidan Holton rounding out that top 10. Aidan Holton, the last of the drivers within a second in that qualifying session. Anthony Burrows, Adam Hennessy on debut here this evening for Highland Motorsport. And he's in the Ferrari this evening. He was on row number 6, so a wonderful result for him being up into 12th on debut here. Lachlan Dawes, the other Ford Mustang Defy Motorsports car, the sister car to Bowen Piper, is in 13th. Then Barton Norley, Josh Green, Josh Gordon, 2 Joshes, 16th and 17th. Wood and Nathan Hutton and Mark Hurley on the rounding out the top 20, I should say. Andre Sheepers and Aaron Thomas. Then Wayne Tanner, Max Honeybun as we get the 32nd call. Ben Sayers in 25th. Felix Preslin 26th. Rowan Green and Xander Stewart 27th, 28th, sharing a row of the grid. Matt Boyd, Andrew Griffin 29th and 30th. Then, as you said, it's Jaden DeWitt and Guy Farmer and Natalie Wah at the back of the field. And then myself and John sitting in the commentary booth this evening as spectators. So we did not set a time in qualifying. But that's okay. I don't think we'd want to embarrass them anyway, would we?
Folks, I'm going to jump in on Isaac there. I can confirm that car number is not reflective of my age, by the way, before George Cook jumps in the chat and start cracking any jokes. Just want to make that clear. I know, George, before you start, I wasn't around helping dig the foundations of the oval at this course either, before you start on that one either. So there we go. Just want to make that little clarification, Isaac, before we start.
Yes. No. Well, yeah. I think George might be a little busy this evening, but he might pop up somewhere to chime in at some point, I'm sure. But yeah,
he'll be listening.
We make sure we clarify that, just so that he doesn't have a little. It's also not indicative of my age either. That's just my race number, and I use it so that I can claim that my race number is technically still used because I use it when I jump into the server. So. Someone's saying they love the TrackSpotTV coverage, so that might be George's burner account actually. The Motorsport 32 there. But no, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the coverage so far. We are on our warm-up lap, so not too far away from a race start. Obviously, a mandatory stop here this evening, John. Tyres only. So, gonna have a think about, if you're a driver here, when to go for that pit stop. You would probably think about halfway makes logical sense, but an undercut or an overcut could be strong here if you just maybe decide to go for. I think the undercut here will be strong if you go for an early stop. It could probably spell a bit of disaster at the end of the race if you're on older tyres, but you've got to really think about the strategy. As is the case with a lot of these 1 hour races, you really have to consider what you can do in terms of strategy.
Indeed, yeah, it's going to be an interesting proposition for the drivers, as you say. Not especially with the track temperature still being up well over 30 degrees. We're at 35 degrees, so the tyres are going to be getting pushed. Now, something that a lot of people don't necessarily take into consideration when they're dealing with these type of track temperatures. A course like this, you're spending a lot of time in the slipstream, and that sounds great. You're in the slipstream, you're going quicker. Well, being in the slipstream in a GT3 car means you've got less downforce on the car. The air is passing over the top, and the GT3 cars are very much reliant on that extra downforce, and one of the things it helps them with is braking and steering. So the extra pressure on those front tyres could see drivers in the slipstream having to come in early and then look for clear air when they come out to make sure those tyres aren't completely blistered away to absolutely nothing and leaving you with understeer right round the whole course. So yeah, the pit strategy is going to need to be
on point.
Absolutely on point for everyone throughout the field, Isaac.
It certainly is. We will come back to those strategies throughout the race, no doubt, but we are not too far away from a green flag. They roll over their grid boxes side by side down the front straight. Look at all 33 cars. We have the green flag, and we are away for race 3 of the season, race 4 of the season, round 3 of the season. Oh, Mope! Bold Piper's in the wall. Brayden Henderson as well. We got multiple cars involved here. A massive incident behind at the start of this race. Look at how many cars are involved off the start. So much damage between all of these cars. Brayden Henderson's involved. Bold Piper's involved. That looks like 2 of the Defy cars. Max Honeybun, I believe. Multiple cars still trying to find their way through. Josh Green got through. Josh Struick is through, leading the race. Brayden Henderson, unfortunately, we will get an updated leaderboard at some point. But we've got multiple cars in the lane. So Bowen Piper is back in the lane. Brendan Sayers is in the lane. Natalie Waugh is also in the lane from the looks of things. The 25 car of Josh Gordon got caught up in that. There's so many cars with damage out there at the moment, folks. We will get those numbers to you, figure out what is happening. But at the moment, Josh Struick leads this motor race from Matt Simmons. Simon Bishop, where is Matt Donetti? That is what I'm asking myself. He is down the order. How much damage?
He's in 20th.
Will be corrected. I think he had to back out of that. There looks to be a bit of damage on the front end of that Audi. So that's not good at all for the start here. And we've still got cars that are trying to... Well, still in the lane, still yet to cross sectors. But wow, what a start to that race. That was very messy. They spoke about in driver's briefing, making sure that nothing silly happened into turn 1. We didn't even make it to turn 1 before Bowen Piper was facing perpendicular to the wall. And unfortunately for him, his race is over before it's even started. Same for Brayden Henderson. But Josh Struick, first place from Matt Simmons, Simon Bishop, Aiden Holton, Max Silver into 5th, Riley Nicholson into 6th, Josh Green up into 7th off that start. I do not think there is a car out there, maybe besides Josh Struick and Matt Simmons, that has damage on the front of it.
Yeah, I'm actually jumping onto the replay. That was at least a dozen cars got caught in there. It looked like Natalie Waugh actually started from the pit. That might well be the number 1 strategy. For some reason, my replay has hung up.
Yeah, Sheepers, Honeybun, Green, Tanner, Presslin, Gordon into the lane, Burrows into the lane, Bowen Piper was already there, Sayers was already there, and Brayden Henderson is also in the lane, but I think he may be out of this one. So multiple cars in the lane right at the start of this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to process exactly what has happened off the start. Nitro saying that's ridiculous if it's not a red flag. Unfortunately, Nitro, there is no... Well, I'm not in race control to make that distinction, unfortunately. So I cannot comment on whether that is a red flag or not, because I'm not the lead steward this evening. That falls to a different person. So unfortunately, there is no red flag off the start here. There is no procedure in place for that. And... yeah, wow, what a start. How messy was that, unfortunately, for multiple cars getting caught up right at the start there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a terminology you would use to describe a certain type of show. That's not one that we can use on stream. I'm actually trying to catch this on the replay. I cannot even tell what's happened here. Still looking at the live pictures. I'm going to keep scrubbing my way through this replay and see if I can find out exactly what happened, but that was a monster crash at the start. I think one car stalled it on the start line. I'm trying to confirm who it was, but yeah, one car basically stalled on the start line, and unfortunately the reactions of the driver behind weren't quite at F1 levels from the weekend there. Who was the young lad that avoided that car at high speed? Did a very good job anyway. He finds himself taking a tap in the rear, forced into the wall, sideways on the start-finish straight of the Brickyard, and it was pretty much a junkyard at that point, as it looked like about 12 to 14 cars got themselves caught up in that. So, yes, Fubar, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, quite a few cars got up in that. I'm still trying to scrub through the replay to see if I can get exactly who the main protagonist in that was, and I should have an answer for that in a minute. Oh, and there's a stop-go 30-second being handed out down the field as well.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just
yeah.
I've got a lot of people trying to vent their frustrations, really, and I'm trying to manage what is going to happen here. because we're not really sure. Look, we never really had this situation before to set precedent of what's going to happen. So we are trying to make a decision on what we do here, whether we go red flag and restart this race or not.
Okay, so yeah, potentially a red flag. Now, is it Burrows? Oh no, it was ahead of Burrows. Sorry, yeah, as I say, folks, I'm still trying to scan through the
Red
replay.
flag,
There was
red flag.
a whole lot went on there. And it is a red flag.
Red flag, ladies and gentlemen. We will jump to the...
Oh no, it's kicked me from the server just as I was getting to the meat of the issue on the replay. Ah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so the Brickyard Showdown, folks, getting turned into the Junkyard Showdown there. It's so easy to do as well. I mean, that looks like potentially a whole lot of driver error there. But as I say, all it takes is for one car to miss that first gear, to miss that takeoff, and suddenly the cars behind have got absolutely no place to go. And of course, if you're a Ferrari driver like myself, you know just how poor some cars and just how phenomenal some cars are during the start procedure. Certainly the Ferrari has been found wanting after previous updates, and was getting destroyed off the line by absolute... There's GT4 cars that are quicker off the line than the Ferrari 296 at the moment, unfortunately. It didn't look like there was a Ferrari involved there initially. Certainly initial look, it did look like an Aston Martin and a GTR further down the field, but all it takes is one, and there is no place to go. As you can see, Indianapolis, it started life as an oval, which means it's got walls either side of that start-finish straight, and as soon as one car bounces off just outside the top 10, that's pretty much every car down from that position to the back of the grid is going to some way be affected, either making contact with a car ahead, having contacted or being contacted from a car behind, or just having to take avoidant action. Plenty of wall riding from the drivers to try and make their way past. But yeah, that was a big incident off the start-finish line. Certainly not unheard of in GT3 racing, and luckily for the drivers, a red flag in sim racing is a slightly more simple procedure than it is in real life. At least we don't have actual fender benders and engines needing to be fixed. Just a few semi-dislocated thumbs from direct drive wheels, and the drivers can get themselves a fresh car and a fresh set of tyres to get themselves off and running again, Isaac. But yeah, a difficult start there for round number 3. But as I say, GT3 racing, it really is a fluid beast when it wants to be.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And we're just going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, while we get this issue sorted out. So we'll be back very shortly, and we will be back. We'll be back soon. For those drivers that are watching, I just want to make a quick note. Thank you to those that reached out and requested a red flag and did so respectfully. For those that chose to use less than pleasant language, please keep in mind that everyone in race control and everyone in this admin league, for this league, is doing their absolute best, and we will not tolerate abuse towards anybody in these situations. So we thank everyone that reached out and was respectful, and we will be back very soon, hopefully, to get this race back up and running. We'll see you very soon.
Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Always looking for more. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Always looking for more. Why we always looking for more? Why we always
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. We were trying to get organized to go racing once again. And yeah, unfortunately, there is not much else that we could do besides start once again. We will reset and try this once more. We're going to go for a slightly shortened race now, 50 minutes only on the clock. Mandatory pit stop still stands. And yeah, John, that was an interesting start to race number one.
Indeed, it was. As I said, yeah, GT3 racing, any type of motorsport is very much a fluid situation. It just takes one minor mistake, one lapse in judgment, one miss of a gear change, which I've done myself. I've certainly caused more, well, I would say more than my fair share of pileups, but I start generally right at the back of the grid. So there's only ever a few cars involved when I make a bit of a mess of it. But yeah, certainly the Brickyard turned into a junkyard inadvertently, and quite a few cars coming a cropper, as we say in this northern hemisphere that I do reside. But yeah, we've got a red flag. We've got the cars back out on the grid. A slightly shortened race this time. We'll see how they got on. I think it's going to be a straight shot from here, so hopefully the drivers can keep their powder dry long enough to make it in to turn one. Everyone's got their eyes on the radars and the cars ahead, so we'll see how we get on at the restart. The one main benefit they've got is the track temperature is down at 2 degrees on where it was when we started the initial race, so it's a bit more lenient on the tyres. We have got a couple of cars that are even starting from the pits as the warm-up lap gets itself underway. It's going to be a full formation lap once again for the drivers to then line up and get the hammer down across the start-finish line. So we'll see if we can't make it to the end of lap number 1 this time around, which I think we should do. And as I say, we've got a couple of cars, Natalie Waugh and Ben Norley, both starting this one from the pits. So, but everyone
let's
else
jump down to the track.
Back out on track.
Yeah, and yes, we're being told that unfortunately it appears that Nathan Hutton was reset to the back of the grid and was not given his correct spot for qualifying. So we have extended our apologies to Nath because he did qualify very well. But he's some people that are not happy with me about that. I apologise, folks. I know this is not ideal, and I am doing everything that I can to make sure that this race does go ahead and that everyone is in the positions that they need to be in. But unfortunately, as a one-man show,
I don't know why you're apologising, Isaac. I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump straight over the top of you there. You are multitasking beyond compare. I have been broadcasting for 5 years. There is no way I would be taking on as many roles as you.
I will be brutally honest. I'll be brutally honest, John. I feel like I need to apologise. Some of the messages and the things that I've received this evening, I've been told that this is very ordinary, that this is not okay, that this is not cool, and the things that I'm not, because I'm not all over this immediately. It's not great, and look, I understand it is frustrating, but I would understand more if we had a team of race control people, like 3 or 4 people dedicated to making sure this race runs. Unfortunately, there is me, myself, and I dedicated to making sure this race runs this evening, and I'm also trying to run a broadcast. So as one person, I've tried to make sure that I do the best I can to make sure this grid was fair and this grid was set up the way it was. Unfortunately, I have missed one car, and I will apologise to NIF, which I have done, and we will sort that out between us. And for everyone else that is wanting to weigh in and have an opinion, I appreciate it and I understand. But we thank you just to understand that we are doing the best that we can here, and we are trying as hard as we can. And look, you're always going to have people that are not happy, but we do the best we can. In saying that, we are not too far away from a race start. And hopefully this time we will get away to a much cleaner start than we did last time. Josh Druick, attempt number 2, 50 minutes left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. We are green and we are away. Bowen Piper, what happens this time? He stays to the left to make sure that he is very well clear of anyone else around him. They spread out on the run towards turn 1, and who is going to go up the inside? We get a nice close-up view of Martinetti around the outside of Braden Henderson, across the curb for Henderson into turn 1. A little bit of a touch-up from Bowen Piper. Where is Bowen Piper? Is he still rolling in a straight line? He is. We haven't had anyone around yet, so far, so good for race attempt number 2, I should say. Josh Druick leads the way, and I believe that is Bowen Piper in second place. No, it is Braden Henderson in second place. Is it? No, I'm trying to work out who's in second. I think it's Martinetti. It is Martinetti. Bowen Piper is struggling at the moment, going side by side with Simon Bishop. Will lose a few places here off the start, but I think that's better than his race start that he had last time around. To be happy that he's still at least in the fight somewhat. And left the pit lane is Natalie Waugh and, you got to be joking, Bob Norley. So they're getting started now in their races. We'll have a little bit of time to try and catch the field. 48 minutes remaining on the clock here. But a much nicer start this time around, John. Everyone's gotten through cleanly. Josh Druick, once again, gets off to the race start that he would have wanted. Matt Zanetti up into second. Braden Henderson in third with the car that is still, crucially, with all the panels straight on it.
Yes, indeed. The extra weight reduction that the drivers tried at the start of race 1, can confirm it's not the way to do it. Just shedding panels left, right and centre. It does make the car a bit quicker, but certainly not the way to do it. It's definitely better if the aerodynamics are intact. But yeah, as you say, a much better start. A little bit of door banging through turns 2, 3 and 4. Nothing overly egregious. Just a lot of cars trying to find a lot of space on the track. A very civil start, and it's been a good run right through down the field. I've been watching down at the back of the field. Farmer's made good moves. So's Gordon and Sayers. Max Honeybun finding himself down in 28th position with Breslin, bringing up the rear of the field of the drivers who have started out on track, and that is an incredible battle that's going on with Silver and Piper, and that's Silver looking to go round the outside of Piper if he can in his Nissan GTR. He's putting absolute pressure, and Halton looks like he's getting into this battle as well in the Porsche. In fact, Halton is now trying to go up the inside of Silver. Silver was looking like he was getting the overtake done, and it's Halton in the Porsche that is piling on the pressure, and here comes Barton as well from 8th place. Oh, we've got a drive-through.
Oh! There goes Max Silver, spun around, of contact with Halton, and unfortunately for Max Silver, he'll be very frustrated about that. He was off to a good start earlier on, but unfortunately, he now faces the wrong way. A drive-through, as you said, for Anthony Burrows, who I believe is come through here. So he has already reached track limits. Max Silver will get going once again, but he will not be happy about that contact with Aiden Halton. I think there's going to be a bit of a headache for the stewards tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in what happens afterwards in this race. The question I think that also... No, it's another car spun. That's Ferrari around. I think that's Mark Hurley. It is. That has been spun. Contact with Daniel Wood, I believe. He'll get that car rolling again. And it is chaos. Indianapolis is... look, I'll be honest, John. I think I've worked out what the problem is. It's Friday the 13th. That is what the problem is.
It is indeed Friday the 13th, although I can't say too much about Friday the 13th because the day is actually my mum's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to your mother.
And my mum's sister were all born on a Friday the 13th. So yes, Mama Raven, happy 73rd birthday, you absolute legend. So yeah, Friday the 13th is not overly unlucky for everyone, but it certainly seems to be for a few of the drivers out on track. Certainly not for Struick. He is off and running. A couple of drivers with some door bangs. We've got a couple of cars around the wrong way, and we've got Burrows in the pits serving his drive-through. Max Silver in the pits as well, with Hurley getting some damage repaired by the look of it. Now that is an early pit stop, so they're going to have to come back into the pit stop, but that is Natalie Watt and Bob Norley both made their way past, so they've made up 3 places already after starting in the pits, as Dernetti is setting the fastest lap of the race, with Henderson, Bishop and Piper doing their best to close in. But there is a phenomenal battle in 7th position at the moment between Halton, Barton, Nicholson and potentially Green in that Ferrari. He's got another couple of cars directly behind him as well, Hennessy and Sheppers. So 2 little groups of 3 there that could very quickly become a group of 6, because Nicholson in that Aston Martin is absolutely on fire at the moment. I have no idea how Barton is managing to fend him off, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to fend him off for much longer. As you can see, the gap between the 2 of them, which is completely non-existent across that start-finish line, Isaac.
Yep, it is very close at the front of this field at the moment. Oh, between these guys, in the background, there was a car going for a move. That is Sheepers on Daniel Wood, trying to go defensive, defend the position that he currently has of 11th place. And yeah, the question I think for the stewards in this will be, the biggest question will be, what happens with those with that incident at the start of the first attempt. I would imagine everyone got their spots back, so potentially penalty points for the root cause of that, who that was. I'm not entirely sure. There'll be a lot of footage looking at, I believe, and that'll be in the hands of the stewards of the series. Also a couple other incidents they need to look at as the evening goes on. Hopefully that is it, though. Hopefully, given that it's Friday the 13th, we can just take a breath, settle down a little bit, and get into some just good old-fashioned racing with no more major clashes. I believe Max Silver and Mark Hurley have come into the lane and served their stop. They have, and they're back out into the field in 30th and 31st place, albeit, unfortunately, a lap down. And that's what we spoke about at the top of the broadcast. I feel like ages ago we had that discussion, John, about the fact that the what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of it now. I've got nothing. The pit transit time, 79 seconds with a stop. So that's 79% of your lap. No, 83% of your lap. Something like that. It was ridiculously large number in the 80s. If you're, halfway behind the field already after an incident, you're going to go a lap down. And here, unfortunately, for Mark Hurley and Max Silver, they will get that lap back when everybody around them pits, but for now, they have to negotiate and deal with the fact that they are in lap traffic. They don't want to hold anybody around them up.
Yeah, indeed. It is an interesting proposition. And just a slight correction, actually. 83% lap time lost here at Indianapolis. There is a track out there where you lose more time than Indianapolis. Brands Hatch.
Oh.
With it being such a short course, with it having a chicane on the way in, you actually lose 86% of your lap time at Brands Hatch, which is gargantuan compared to the 73% you lose at Spa. So everyone talks about the Spa pit lane as, that's Hurley just pulling over to let blue flags past. I thought he'd binned the car, but no, he is very politely letting a lot of blue flags pass. But yeah, I mean, but by no means is it a short pit lane here. As you say, over 80% of the lap time lost, and it does put them in a very tricky position. And it is a tricky position because we know that Hurley and Silver are both very quick. They qualified up well inside the top 15, so they are quick drivers, but they are going to have to respect those blue flags. Can't unlap themselves, of course. There's nothing in the rules to say they can't unlap themselves. They have to do it ultra carefully. You cannot be impinging on a car ahead if you are the blue flag and you are the lap down, and you certainly can't impinge on a battle that is going on ahead of you. So if Silver or Hurley do manage to catch up to any of the battles ahead, they're going to have to be ultra careful at making their way past the drivers that they catch up to. So many battles going on through the field as well. I've no idea where to look, but yeah, it certainly puts them in what you would call no man's land. Easy to see. I've been watching World War I films recently, but yeah, it certainly does put them in no man's land, and it makes it an interesting run towards the end, because at some point in time, because of the difference, you'd think the race leaders are going to catch up with them, and that again is an interesting proposition for them to deal with.
Yes,
so it's going to be a tricky race from then on, Isaac.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting prospect. Absolutely. What happens to those guys, we'll have to wait and find out. We are now 10 minutes into this race, 40 minutes to go. A projected time, if you're a local New South Wales, projected race finish time, 9th place battle going on. Oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, right in behind. This is Matt Simmons and Adam Hennessy. So Matt Simmons trying to recover after that race start. Went backwards, lost a couple of positions, it seems, on the start. Projected local finish time of just after 9:30 p.m. it seems. So we're going to run a little bit over time. Look, in hindsight, we should have shortened the race more to meet our time certain requirements of 9:20 p.m. New South Wales local time. But we extended it due to the fact that it took so long to get that red flag organised and underway that we still get 40 more minutes of racing, and Matt Simmons is going to take full advantage of the fact that he's got a faster car than Josh Green at the moment. Pulls down the inside, goes for the overtake. In the background, there's an Aston Martin going for an overtake as well. Josh Green tries to hang it around the outside, though. A better drive off the corner has served him well here. Matt Simmons trying to stay with it, trying to stay in the throttle, keep up the inside, but Josh Green with that car placement has just managed to get it done. Daniel Wood is going for overtakes as well here, trying to follow through and to get past, I believe that's Sheppers in and around him. It is up the inside. That's another Ferrari. There's a lot of Ferraris. That's Hennessy going defensive. So many Ferraris. It's all happening here at the moment, John, isn't it? They're getting their elbows out. Please, gentlemen, my eyes cannot take any more major incidents. If we could just keep this tidy from here, that would be absolutely lovely. I don't want to see another crash if we can avoid it.
Indeed, yeah. I thought, whoa, and that Ferrari on the curbs, that is wood. Oh, I tell you what, Hennessy is going to be drinking more than gin and juice to try and get this car to the end of the race. See what I did there? But yeah, Ferrari on Ferrari action. It is the best car in the world. Come at me, bro.
That's what they say.
Oh, wood. Woof. Wow, he's gone round the outside on the way into the embankment. But all that's done is brought Toward and Thomas in. So the two Aston Martins now trying to encroach on the battle between the two Ferraris. This is going to be a beautiful mix of cars very shortly. And just ahead of them, Simmons and Greens are still going at it with Riley Nicholson also making progress on Barton and Halton. It is all happening, and there's no halting going on up at the front of the field. Vernetti and Struick have absolutely checked out, with Vernetti setting the fastest lap of the race so far. We've got another battle going on. In 16th position as Dawes tries to send his Mustang up the inside. Oh, he's touched the back of the Aston Martin, who saved it. Thomas, what a save. Ladies and gentlemen, please take to your feet. Standing ovation for Thomas there.
Oh, Matt Simmons is
been a
around.
contact ahead of them.
Matt Simmons and Josh Green. So that is a bit of contact between those two, and unfortunately, they will have to get back out on the circuit and continue to roll on. I'm not sure entirely what happened there. Does Josh Green get rolling again? He is rolling once again. So that is... Well, yeah, again, gentlemen, please, if we could settle down a little bit, that would be absolutely lovely. Yeah, it's going to be a busy night for the stewards, that is absolutely for certain. Daniel Wood trying to find a way past Sheepers. He's got Adam Hennessy right in behind him, and then Toward. Matt Simmons has dropped down to 20th place. So, we had a, look, I think we had a fairly tame first two rounds of the season, John, and they've decided that it was too tame, and now they're going to get it all out in one night.
Indeed, it's called adrenaline GT racing for a reason, folks. Because the adrenaline is clearly pumping in some of the drivers, and to give the drivers a bit of credit as well. You've got to remember the curves here are absolutely unforgiving, but they do need to be used. They do need to get out on those curves to keep the fastest laps, as we can see Wood and Shepherd. Shepherd's with a flash of the lights, although there's nobody in front of him. But I tell you what, that Ferrari behind them is looking very quick indeed. That is Wood. Whoa, and Hennessy, who are right in the hunt.
And there goes Shepherd's.
Right in the butt. Oh. Is that Shepherd? Oh, he's spun his car.
He spun his car, he has.
Was there a contact?
I think there was a little bit of contact between them. So I am never running around on Friday the 13th ever again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last time we run on a Friday the 13th, because it always ends in tears for somebody, and the person that has to deal with it is me. So, yeah, no, we're not running on Friday the 13th again. That's the end of that. And it was fun while it lasted. It's a bit like the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife. We tried the Nordschleife once. It didn't work. We're not doing it again. And we've tried running on Friday the 13th. Clearly doesn't work. We won't be doing it again. Thank you very much indeed. Matt Simmons just got a spot on Guy Farmer. Max Honeybun has followed him through. So Matt Simmons back up into the top 20 now, trying to continue to move forward. At the front of this field, Martinetti has got in front of Josh Struick. So that is actually a change of position for the lead of this race. So Martinetti, with a question mark hanging over as part of one of the drivers that was involved in that incident early on, has got up into the lead. Simon Bishop is in third, following along. Josh Struick trying to stay with the reigning champion right now. Obviously, if they finish this way, this would, I believe, swing the championship potentially to actually be tied on points. I'll have to do that math for you, ladies and gentlemen, but I believe we would have a tie for championship points if things finish the way that they are now.
Indeed, yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes still to come, especially sixth position here. Halton v Barton is very much a battle which is coming to a crescendo, and I think Riley Nicholson might be the driver that's going to benefit from a couple of positions here. He's got his CP1 car just ahead of him, with Barton separating the two of them, and they could... the two teammates could well work together, although Aston Martin is going to be mighty through sectors 1 and 2. We already know the Nissan is the quickest car in sector number 3. And he is going to have to use every single millimetre of torque that he can get to keep that Aston Martin behind him. Nicholson, who's had up and down seasons, as I say, I've known him for quite some time, always been a quick racer. Doesn't seem to get the results, though, that he deserves. So we'll hopefully... he can get himself an overall top 10 finish here today, but it's going to be quite the battle to hold on to these positions. You could see him propelled up to 6th place as they fire out the last corner. The last couple of corners into sector number 3 past the pit entrance. I believe I've just seen someone else coming to the pits. Yes, we have. Jay Gordon's come in his Aston Martin, and we are, oh well, we're 27 minutes into this already. Sorry, 17 minutes in, 33 minutes left to go. So yeah, he can certainly make it to the end with a pit stop now, but that is a very early pit stop indeed. Still battles going on right down through the field, but this one with Halton, Barton and Nicholson. Barton having to think about a move up the inside of turn number 1. He's going to go side by side with the Porsche. Is this just going to open things up for Riley Nicholson? I'll tell you what, the Nissan doing phenomenal work through the corners there to hang on to it, but so too the Porsche and Nicholson having to take a slightly different line to avoid getting checked up and making sure that he carries that momentum through the corner. But this is a quality little battle that we've got going on there, and there's one going on just behind with Hennessy and Coward still. Thomas quite close, Green and Tanner close to Hutton as well. But yeah, these three here keeping it extra spicy at the moment. One slight slip will see major positional changes, and I tell you, if they don't get this sorted out pretty soon, they're going to be bringing Wood into this battle, as well as Hennessy and Toward, who we can see are lurking just behind them. So at the moment it's Halton, who is the cork in the bottle with Barton and Nicholson in close attendance. And there goes Nicholson up the inside. He's got the Nissan absolutely banged to rights. He set him up through sector 2 there. And that is a lovely move from the Aston Martin there, Isaac.
Yeah, that was a lovely overtake from Nicholson, and moves up into 7th place, second in class now. Barton still with him, but Nicholson will be hoping that he can maybe pull a little bit of a gap out, pull away ever so slightly from the from the man in front, or from the man behind, sorry, and stay with the man in front in Aiden Holton. So going to keep up. Barton's going to come back at him here, though. The straight line of that Nissan GTR doing the best that it can. Nicholson, oh, there was a little bit of squeezing there into turn 1 and holds onto the position. And whether Barton feels hard done by there, we'll have to wait and see. But it was, yeah, doing the best he could to be defensive there. Nicholson, Tower thinks about move on Hennessy into 1, but not able to on that occasion. Your key overtaking points here this evening, folks, will be turn 1, turn 6, turn 8 at the end of the back straight, and then turn 13 into that final sort of final 3-corner complex as you come back off the oval. So those are the spots to look out for tonight for drivers to try and get overtakes done. At the moment, we are running about 20 minutes into this race. It is Matt Donetti that leads from Josh Struick, from Simon Bishop. Braden Henderson about 2.8 seconds back and chasing down. He'll be happy that he's still running at this point after last time. Into the pits comes Xander Stewart for another stop, it looks like. Wayne Tanner is in for his first stop of the race. Natalie Wah yet to come in. Max Silver up to 27th now. He's got... that is one of the TTR cars sitting in front of him, but they are a lap. He is a lap down, keep in mind. So I think he's sort of just trying to stick with this group at the moment to ensure that he has a little bit of clean air, but hopefully can move forward later on. Where is Josh Green? Josh Green is in 14th. Matt Simmons is in 17th at the moment. So they had an earlier incident as well, so continuing to try and move forward. And Matt Simmons is putting pressure on Andre Sheepers, who also had an incident earlier. Opens the door, leaves him a bit of room, but Sheepers are going to dive into the pit lane. So Sheepers has made the decision. It is time for a pit stop. He will transit the lane. His one and only mandatory stop of the evening. Aaron Thomas has also decided it is time for a pit stop. Braden Henderson still out on the circuit. Bowen Piper actually leading the Pro-Am class at the moment in 5th place. So despite going backwards at the start of this race, he still leads the Pro-Am class.
Indeed, yeah, and it's a good lead that he's got at the moment. He's got 8 seconds back, as you say, to Halton, who's got 1 second separating him from Nicholson and Barton. Nicholson, after getting that overtake done on Barton, he is now catching up hand over fist on his post-driving teammate there, looking to take 6th position. That is going to be not bad for the armed driver to get another pro car behind him. Hennessy, Toward and Dawes having themselves a 3-way fight for the final position in the top 10. That is quite an interesting one. And we've also got Thomas and Sheppers in the pits. Tanner is out of the pits. He's come back out in 26th position, ahead, importantly for him, of Max Silver. Hurley's back out in 28th with Sayers in 29th. Natalie Wan not long getting an overtake done herself. That's Xander Stewart has been put to the sword. Natalie making up a position after starting from the pits, so a decent start there. And we've got one of the runners and riders from the top 10 coming into the pits as well. That's Barton.
It is.
He's done with his battle. He's come into the pits and he's left the 2 CP cars to battle away for 6th position. So we'll see where he comes out. But certainly that is us fast approaching the halfway mark of the race. And cars coming in as Toward comes into the pits as well. So does Hutton in the Aston Martin. So that's 3 cars in the lane at the moment. So we're going to see the timing tower run absolutely wild at the moment as it tries to figure out where everybody is. Hennessy on Wood still on the go. Halton and Nicholson still an interesting battle there. But more interestingly, I would say Matt Dernetti now 1.5 seconds ahead of Struick. So he's got that overtake done, and he's got his teammate Bishop looking to back him up. He's only 1.2 seconds down. So the top 3 need to be absolutely on point for the next few laps, at least until they get into the pits, until we settle this one down and see who is going to, because the race win at the moment is still absolutely up for grabs. The 2 Audis though are looking very good indeed. Struick doing wonders in that Porsche, and they've all stayed out for another lap as more cars are exiting the pits. Gordon on Thomas is very close as well, but oh, and there's Bishop coming into the pits.
Oh, there we go.
So
the first of the top 5.
Yeah, Bishop comes in.
First of the top 5 into the lane for the stop, and Aiden Holton is going to follow him in, release Riley Nicholson to see what he can do in terms of lap time now with some clean air. We can see in the background as well, 2 of the TTR cars are battling, and I actually don't know, I think they're out of position at the moment. They are. That's Hutton, who has a drive-through penalty. So Nathan Hutton with the drive-through. I believe that could be for track limits. Not entirely sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But
exiting the pit lane, speeding.
There we go. That'll be why. So you have to come through and serve that drive-through, which is a fairly hefty drive-through, I should add. Not ideal at all for anyone, really, to serve. I'm actually going to get the times up for you now, ladies and gentlemen. If he serves that drive-through, that is 44 seconds, or 46% of his lap that he will spend driving through the pit lane. So not ideal, not what you want at all. That will drop him a fair way down the order, I would imagine, behind Max Silver and Mark Hurley quite comfortably. He did start from the back of the grid, so he was actually doing quite well to be up as many spots as he was. So Simon Bishop still leaving the lane now. He's served his stop. Aiden Holton also leaving the lane. Where will they come out? The race leader, keep in mind, folks, the race leader has just come into the lane, so he's on the front straight. Josh Struick has elected to stay out, will inherit the lead of this race. So Simon Bishop has just gone out of the pits. Here is the race leader. So anyone that's really behind Simon Bishop is at risk. Even Aiden Holton here is actually at risk of going a lap down, which can greatly affect his race. So it just goes to show how long you spend in the pit lane here, because Aiden Holton, who was in 6th place, probably not that far behind the race leader, almost went a lap down.
Indeed, yeah, the pit lane is a completely brutal one. Sorry, I'm just looking. We've got a lot of cars that are now coming into the pits on the halfway mark. Dernetti, Henderson, Piper, Nicholson, and Wood all coming into the pits. I think Dawes has just come in as well. Yes, he has. Here comes Green. Honeybun has stayed in the pit lane as well. Yeah. So Max Honeybun coming into the pits as well. Yeah, everyone is coming in. Farmer, it looks like he's going to stay out. Preslin, Norley, and Green. With Burrows, there's the halfway mark of the race reached and breached. Simon Bishop currently in 16th position. He is the lead car to have taken his pit stop. He is coming into the final sector now, so we'll see where he comes back out. Dernetti is already moving, so too is Henderson. And Farmer, he's going to get just ahead of them as Preslin comes through as well. Piper is moving. Who else has come in? Green's come in. Burrows has come in.
Struick's
but
staying out
more
again.
importantly, here comes... Oh, Struick's staying out again.
Yep. So Struick is elected to stay out once more and not come in. So there's only going to be a handful of cars that are left on this circuit yet to pit once everyone here serves their stop. So that'll be Struick, Hennessy, Guy Farmer, and Felix Preslin.
That's it.
That's... Bob Norley. Bob Norley will be the other driver.
Oh, Bob Norley, sorry, Nate, yes.
Yes, so he'll be the only other driver yet to serve a stop in this race once they actually do come back out. I'm just looking where Max Silver might end up in all of this after all of that. And he's coming around the final corner now. You'd think he'll gain at least a spot or two here on some drivers down the front straight now. There's a couple cars coming towards the pit entry as we speak.
Hennessy
is one of those. There is. And, yep, stop and go 30 seconds for Josh Green for speeding on entry to the pit lane. And side by side on exit, here comes Max Silver to get himself in a part of this. He makes contact with his Defy teammate, Lachlan Dawes. And there's a 30-second stop-go for Max Honeybun as well. So cars speeding on entry to the pit lane, getting that all wrong. Max Silver, will he jump up all those spots on correction? We'll wait to find out. But Josh Green will not be happy at all that he has that drive-through. Hennessy's in the lane. Breslin chooses to stay out. Josh Green, will he come in this time around? Let's find out as Farmer and Norley also elect. So only 2 cars left to stop in this race, and that is Josh Struick and Felix Breslin. What will happen when they come towards the line? Matt Donetti's just gone across the start-finish line now, coming towards turn 1. And electing to stay out again is Josh Struick. He's actually closing up to his teammate now in Aiden Holton. He's going to have to pass him now. I think Holton should let him by under blue flag rules and not hold him up. And that is exactly what he is doing. 22 minutes remaining in this race. Josh Struick running the gauntlet here. Nathan Hutton, unfortunately, spun out in the midfield. Was that all on his own, or did he do that? Did he have some help to do that? I think he's actually left the race. So that is incredibly unfortunate for Nathan Hutton, and disappointing to see that. We're looking forward to seeing what he could have done from the back of the grid. Here is Matt Zanetti, the first of the cars to have stopped. And I'm just trying to look where Max Silver might have corrected himself. He corrected himself into 22nd place in the end, behind Lachlan Dawes. So he'll gain a couple more spots here as drivers continue to leave the pit lane. Bob Norley is one of those that is still yet to roll out of the pit lane. So we should jump up inside the top 20. But I'm sure he'll be very frustrated and hoping that he can get up a couple more
that's clumsy.
spots. Oh, that is a bit clumsy indeed. Good evening, Anthony. Pleasure to have you in the chat. Welcome along. You've missed a very chaotic evening of racing indeed. It's all been happening tonight at Indianapolis, as it always does on Friday the 13th. Felix Breslin into the lane. What will Josh Struick do this time around? We've been watching this very anxiously to see whether he's actually going to dive in or not, and maybe he will this time around.
Yeah, he is certainly stretching out this first stint, and he does pull into the lane. So that is Struick pulling into the pits as Dernetti goes past. So, right, okay, so yeah, 73% in the lap. Dernetti is going to be in second place when Struick comes out. Struick has got the overcut working absolutely perfectly here. 20 minutes left to go with a tyre change.
Here's Dernetti. Struick he's got 79 seconds he has to spend in the lane. A little bit skeptical here as to whether this is going to work for Struick. Got a long time to go. Keep in mind, this pit lane is very, very long. He is only just at the start of it. It runs all the way down to where car 8 is in Matt Simmons at the moment. Pretty much all the way to turn 1 before you actually get released. We can follow along, actually, with Max Honeybun, who's coming out of the pit lane following a 30-second stop go, and it's just there that you get released. So he's got a long time to roll around at 50 k's an hour. Matt Zanetti coming through the final few sectors now. Josh Struick has got rolling, so he is going. Where is Matt Zanetti? Can he get around in time to get ahead of Josh Struick, or will Josh Struick come out in front in the lead of this motor race? We are about to find out. Josh Struick continues to roll. Where is that line? We've still got a little while before we get there. Matt Zanetti through the final corner, into the final corner now. This is going to be a very close one indeed. Around the final corner for Matt Zanetti. He is at speed. He has got all the pace in that car. Where is the release line for Josh Struick? Not quite yet. There goes Matt Zanetti. He should go by. He should get him. And he does. Will Simon Bishop get him? He will as well. So it's going to be a 1-2 for BCG, it does appear. And it is. So car 1 and 2 are first and second. There'll be much fresher tyres on Struick's car, but the undercut has worked as predicted at the top of the broadcast. And for Josh Struick, he now has work to do if he wants to get back up into second place and indeed the lead of this race.
Yeah, indeed he does. Yeah, I got that massively wrong. It was very close. I thought he was going to sneak out in front, but nope. The two BCG cars have made their way past, although it's saying on the timing tower that Bishop and Struick have just swapped positions there. That is not accurate. Struick is still in 3rd place. Matt Dernetti now has himself a nice little buffer between Struick. So BCG taking the top 2 spots, CP in 3rd. Henderson in 4th, and then it is Piper in 5th as Green comes in to serve his stop-go 32nd penalty. Quite a few drivers falling foul of the pit lane limits and getting themselves another free trip through the pits. There's more blue flags that the top 2 are going past. Very politely done by the McLaren there. This is going to be an almighty tussle to the end. As we mentioned, the undercut does seem to have worked, but Struick has now got much fresher tyres to get to the end of the race. The temperature down to 34 degrees, so we've only seen a degree shaved off in the opening 30 minutes of the race, so not a huge change in the tyres, in what the tyres will be doing out on track, so that does make it a bit easier for the drivers to calculate. But certainly the Porsche at the moment struggling to chase down the Audi, although Riley Nicholson in his Aston Martin, he's reignited his battle with Barton in 7th place, and Barton trying to weave over the track at the minute to try and break the slipstream into turn number 1. Nicholson not quite close enough, but I think this is an overtake that's a case of when rather than if, given the pace that Nicholson is showing through most of the track over Barton. So Barton's going to have some serious defensive nous if he is going to hold on to that position, much like Bishop, who has got a much fresher tyre. Oh, and Struick just looks like he ran a bit deep there.
Did he?
He did. Wow,
Oh,
Struick completely missed his brakes, and he has given himself a much harder, a much more uphill struggle to get himself to Bishop there. So an uncharacteristic mistake from Struick, and that gives Bishop and BCG an extra bit of breathing space. He's lost a second.
Wow.
After running deep there, so that's a fair bit of time to lose in one corner, to be fair.
That is a lot of time to lose in a single corner. And we're looking at Matt Simmons on our screen at the moment. He's only 1 spot off being back inside the top 10 after that earlier clash with Josh Green. So he is almost there. Josh Green still with the 30-second stop go, which he's yet to serve, and I now believe he has left the server. So he's retired from the race, unfortunately. Pointing for Josh Green tonight, he would have been hoping for a much better result. And Matt Simmons trying to size up this overtake on Hennessy. He's looking everywhere he possibly can to try and get it done, but he hasn't been close enough. A nice run out of these final 2 corners, though, could set him up into turn 1 to get the overtake done.
Indeed, yeah, that is going to be the prime position. He's going to look to get this one done, and he is absolutely closing in Hennessy under all kinds of pressure. He's going to need to... Oh, and that is completely frozen for me. Not ideal timing. There we go. We've got her back live again. And yep, he does send it up the inside. Doesn't look like Hennessy putting up too much of a fight, although he does hold a very good line. My apologies to Hennessy. He absolutely was putting up a fight. He's not lost any momentum, but he has finally lost that position as Matt Simmons gets himself back into the top 10. So that's the 3 BCG cars back in the top 10. 1st, 2nd and 10th place. They're running at the moment, and Simmons has got a bit of time to make up the tower, but certainly not out with the realms of possibility with 15 minutes left to go. And up at the front, that 1.3 second gap between Struick and Bishop is now being mirrored. It's equilibrious gaps between the top 3 with a 1.3 second difference. Matt Dernetti still holding the lead of the race as well as the fastest lap, and very much holding the attention of Bishop and Struick. Struick has just found half a second, so it shows what pace he's got, Isaac. I mean, he lost a second in one corner, but he is finding that time back very quickly indeed. And he's now back to under a second behind as we're watching Simmons and Towers. There's also this battle still going on between Barton and Nicholson. I can see them across the start-finish line. Barton trying to break the slipstream of Nicholson behind them. Nicholson just too close though. But into turn number 1, Barton does manage to hang on to that. Oh, as Nicholson has himself a bit of a bounce over the curbs. Keeps it to within 0.2 of a second. And yeah, this battle is not going away anytime soon, much like the chase up at the top of the field. The two Audis trying to run away with it again. Struik in the post doing his absolute best to hang in there, just like Nicholson on Barton here. This is a fascinating battle between two cars that have got some serious top-end speed, and it does seem that they are negating one another's top-end speed with the battle that they've got. Oh, and the track temperature down another degree.
Yeah, it is dropping out there.
No rain, unfortunately, though, Isaac. We did hope that we would see a bit of precipitation out on track with that cloud cover, but it has, thankfully, certainly as far as the drivers are concerned, it has remained dry, so one less wrinkle for them to worry about. I mean, as if the pit lane's not bad enough, the rain would have made it an interesting one. Looks like we're going to avoid the rain and get ourselves a nice dry race all the way through.
Yes, which is absolutely wonderful that it'll stay dry. Well, not wonderful, but sure, they'll all be thankful. And I think with some of the incidents we've seen this evening, a dry race might not be too much of a bad thing. Josh Struik right behind Simon Bishop once again now, so he's closing in on the second placed Audi, doing what he can to try and get back that second spot that he lost in that round of pit stops. Rowan Nicholson is finding it very hard to get past James Barton at the moment. Unfortunately, that Nissan is very quick in a straight line, and it is hard for Nicholson to try and find a way past. He's searching all he can. He's stronger in the middle sector, given the rotating power of this Aston Martin, but just not able to find the speed down the straights. So through the corners, he's doing quite well. You can see here the speed difference that he has through the first sector alone in the corners, and he's all over the back of the Nissan GTR. Just further up the road is... I think that's car 79 of Matt Boyd that'll have to get out of the way. But here, you'll see on the straight, the Nissan GTR just has the number of the Aston Martin, and there's nothing that Nicholson can do in response to try and get a move done. He's got no straight line speed in comparison. That Nissan GTR is quick.
Yes, it is indeed, and that is what is helping him stay in front. Nicholson putting on a solid display at the moment, but can't quite get that overtake done. He's putting on as solid a display as Struik at the moment. He's got to within half a second once again. I'll just confirm that as they come across the line. 7:10, so it's gone slightly the way of Bishop on that lap as Nicholson and Barton do catch up to the car ahead, which stays out of the way very nicely indeed. Lets those both go through. Simmons back in the top 10, being chased down by Hennessy as well. Oh, and that's a bit of a bounce on the curve from Barton. Nicholson surely going to be in a position to try this into turn number one. I think Barton knows that. That's why he's moved over to the right-hand side early, so he's still got a defensive move come the end of the start-finish straight. Nicholson puts the car around the outside. He's going to give him the inside through here. He was just a bit... He wasn't close enough to get around the outside, and he was slightly too close to try and set up a cutback on exit, but you can see he is all over the rear spoiler. He's going to have himself a Nissan badge on the front of that Aston Martin before the end of the race, that's for sure. He's going to have that burned into his retinas. He has been so close. Oh, and it's another run on the curve for Barton. They're just keeping it extra spicy between the two of them. And I'm also keeping an eye on Struik and Bishop, because they're within 0.3 of a second as well. So we've got two battles going on at the moment, and I'm going to keep an eye on both of them, but certainly at the minute it does look like Barton there, Isaac, he is putting on quite the defensive display there. The Aston Martin and Nicholson, he's certainly got the track knowledge and track position. He's running some very good lines there to keep the pressure on Barton, and the way the two of them are hitting the curves, this could come down to just a merest of mistakes. Could see these positions swap, or a moment of genius from Nicholson, because again, coming into the final couple of corners, he is right on the back of that Nissan. Absolutely no quarter given nor asked from either of these drivers here.
No, absolutely not. They are battling very well at the moment, and yeah, it's very interesting. I've been keeping an eye on a couple other battles up and down this field as well. Josh Struik is trying to close in on Simon Bishop. He's just not able to get past at the moment. That Audi doing everything it can to stay in front and fight as best as it can to keep second place, to keep the 1-2 for BCG. And look, I don't know, my brain is I'm struggling to keep up now. I feel like I'm still reeling from what we've seen this evening, some of the incidents, and just, you know, it's going to be a long night, that is for sure. But the good thing about this is we're only in round 3. We still have 6 rounds to go. Oh, and I've been disconnected from the server, ladies and gentlemen. We will quickly jump to chatting screen.
Well, yeah, I can keep us up to date while you jump yourself back in. It's still Dernetti leading the way. He's got 3 seconds now over Bishop, who's got 3/10.
Oh, getting close.
Over Struick. So those two very close up at the front of the field. We could see a podium position change, although the Audi in a straight line is always going to work wonders against that post. Henderson still in 4th place with Piper and Halton 5th and 6th, and then it is the battle between Barton and Nicholson. That is still absolutely raging on. 7th and 8th they are, Toward and Simmons. And Matt Simmons,
there's been contact
well,
between Bishop and Struick, and that is we just came back into that. There was they were slowed right up, and Simon Bishop got sideways as well. So Struick's made contact with Bishop into turn 1, and then they've both checked up, almost had contact with a lapped car as well, which I think probably got involved in part of that. And the battle for second place in this race is continuing to get spicy.
Yes, it is. They all want as many points as they can get here. It's not just your personal pride, of course, team pride on the line as well. CP and BCG up at the top of the both up well inside the top 5, and those positions are going to be strengthened overall. But who is going to see the greater increase in the points haul? Certainly Matt Dernetti absolutely flying up at the front. He's now got a 7-second lead. If you'd have told me after the start of race 1 or even the start of this race he was going to be that far ahead, there may have been a bit of doubt crept in, but he is getting the job absolutely done. And Simmons, his BCG teammate, he has caught up to Toward. I did say there was just about enough time for him to catch up, and he has done. He's got 7 minutes left to craft out an overtake if he can, much like Nicholson and much like Struick. The rest of the field, there are still battles going on. I didn't quite get down to 12th place because Gordon and Wood battling away for 12th position. We've also got Thomas and Sheppers who are absolutely going in it. Oh, and Max Silver's in there as well. Sorry, he temporarily disconnected from my screen there. So it's Sheppers who is ahead of Silver, who is ahead of Thomas. We've also got Norley and Hurley battling away for 18th position. No further battles going on no battles going on any further down the field, but certainly Norley and the gang keeping it spicy down towards the back of the grid. I'm not actually sure where we're going to see the next overtake come from. Bishop and Struick are getting very close once again. Barton and Nicholson staying very close, and Simmons has got past Toward.
There we go.
So that is BCG, got another car in the top 9, and that's a solid overtake through sector number 3 to get Simmons back into single-digit finishing positions, Isaac.
This is a tidy drive back through the field for Matt Simmons, sorry. So he's actually, I think he's driven quite beautifully to get back up into 9th place. Can he catch this group in front? I think if they continue to battle the way they are, it's definitely a possibility. It's only 5 minutes left to go in this race, so not a lot of time left for Josh Struick to make something happen on Simon Bishop. Another lap car getting out of the way. Doing a good job there, and I believe that was Natalie Wah. It was Natalie Wah getting out of the way. Natalie WA getting out of the way, making sure that she is clear of this battle, because there is only 5 minutes and a handful of laps to go in what has been a very chaotic round of AGT ACC, and I think most of these drivers will just be glad that the evening is almost over. And for Matt Dernetti, he will come away with the race victory, but that incident obviously at the start still needs to be looked at, and what comes out of that we are unsure at this stage. He has a 7-second lead though to Simon Bishop at the moment, so he's flying out in front. Riley Nicholson again in the straight line, just not able to keep up with James Barton. That Nissan GTR is a bullet in a straight line down in towards turn 1, and Riley Nicholson, he'll be quicker through here, but it's just, I don't think it's going to be enough. Wood all over the back of Gordon for 12th spot on the road. Your podium as it stands at the moment for the Pro-Ams are Rowan Piper in 5th, then James Barton and Riley Nicholson. And then Toward, Hennessy and Gordon are also your other AM drivers up the pointy end of this field. We still have 28 drivers remaining in this race. We've lost a few throughout the evening, unfortunately, due to various things that have gone on across the circuit. And there's a car facing backwards there. That's Felix Preslin, the 69 car. Can he get that rolling again? He can. He spins it around. We'll continue on without massively impeding anybody. And it's good to see him get that rolling once more. Bowen Piper is actually catching Braden Henderson at the end of this as well. It's just over a second is that gap now. It's getting spicy. 3.5 minutes to go. It's yeah, not a lot of time, but things can still happen.
Indeed, yeah. It's Indianapolis. Anything can happen at any point in time. We're still watching this battle for the podium, of course, and I'm keeping a weather eye on Nicholson and Barton. It's the two CP cars that are looking to provide the late overtaking action if they can. Both of them looking to bring home a good points haul, and in fact, Nicholson... Oh, now, I'll tell you what, that's a good exit, Scott. Yeah, no, the Nissan's going to run away with that one, I think.
Absolutely.
Into turn number 1. Yeah, the Nissan again, just time and time again. The Aston Martin is no slouch in a straight line, but that Nissan is just absolute different gravy, as we say up here in Scotland, and that is exactly what's keeping the two of them separated at the moment. Nicholson, he is a wily campaigner. I'm just glad to see Nicholson bring home a good points haul. As I say, he's had some difficult races when I've been in the commentary box, and back in the day when I first knew him through Chad Rice and the gang, he really was a very quick and consistent driver, and it looks like he's starting to certainly bring that form here to AGT as well, with a solid 8th place and on the podium in the AM class, and looking to improve that podium position up to 2nd place, much like his teammate Josh Struick, who is up in overall 3rd place. And looking to get himself into overall 2nd, and 2nd, of course, in the pros. So Team CP providing all the overtaking action potentially in the closing stages. And yeah, it's one of those. If I was a betting man, would I bet against either of them or both of them getting the overtake done before the end? I'm not sure I would. I mean, we've only got 2 minutes left to go. Bishop has put up a solid display so far, fending off Struick, and so too has Barton, to be fair. That straight line speed, we're giving a lot of credit to the straight line speed of the Nissan, but Barton still has to get through the twisty stuff as quickly as possible so he can actually get the hammer down to use that straight line speed. Oh, and that's Natalie Waugh has a wiggle on the final corner. That could affect. Has she just promoted herself to Kingmaker here in the AM section, as Barton once again forced to go to the inside line. Riley Nicholson tries to send it around the outside. They're absolutely... Oh no, they weren't quite even, Stephen. Is he going to manage to cut back here? Oh no, the Nissan. See, it's not just the straight line speed. Barton gets it absolutely nailed through that corner section. Puts the car exactly where he needs to. Nicholson still cannot find that pass, but that was very close there. And it's one of the skill sets that you need, Isaac, whether you like it or not. You have to be able to deal with the traffic, and being able to deal with the traffic is as important as getting quick, consistent laps and getting a quick, clean pit stop as well, which we've seen a few drivers get spectacularly wrong tonight with a lot of drive-throughs, but Barton and Nicholson both surviving that there. And I tell you what, oh, get up to the front, sorry. 2nd and 3rd place are side by side.
Oh,
Struick is going for the overtake. He's up the inside. Oh, they've almost made contact, Isaac.
I was about to comment earlier about how they were starting to spread out a little bit. We start the final lap of the race. Martinetti will begin the last lap of this shortened 50-minute race. Josh Struick all over the back of Simon Bishop. They run through the marbles. He's going to have to go the long way around if he wants the position up into 2nd place. Defensive from Simon Bishop in towards turn 1, but around the outside goes Josh Struick. He swoops past, and is he up into that spot? Simon Bishop trying to make a point of it. Back up the inside into 3, into 4 now, and they're still side by side, ladies and gentlemen. Can Simon Bishop come out on top in front of this one? I think he can, and he does, but it's not quite done yet. Josh Struick will throw everything at him on this final lap. Matt Donetti continues to pull away out in front. James Barton holds off Nicholson for now as well, but this is the closest battle on track at the moment. Simon Bishop, he's going to have to go defensive into 8 as well. He doesn't want to open the door for Struick, who thinks about it, has a look to the inside, but he's not close enough under brakes to make it stick. Turn 13, the heavy braking zone coming off the oval is going to be the next part of this track where Struick can get past. That'll be his final opportunity for an overtake. Simon Bishop will be aware to that. He is watching like a hawk. Matt Donetti is about to round the final corner to win this race, but our eyes are firmly planted on this part of the motor race. Matt Donetti rounds the final corner. He will cross the line to win the race here at Indianapolis this evening. Round number 3 goes the way of BCG. Will it be a 1-2? It was a multi-21 in Suzuka. It is a multi-1-2 tonight. Simon Bishop holds off Josh Struick in an absolute thriller from Braden Henderson, Bowen Piper, and then Aiden Holton. Nicholson's going for it around the outside in the final sector. Into 13, he got on the grass. He wasn't able to make it stick, but he had to do something, didn't he? A last-minute gasp from Riley Nicholson to find something to get into second in the Pro-Am class and up into 7th. But in the end, it goes the way of James Barton, and Riley Nicholson pushed him all the way to the end, but will finish in 8th place. Matt Simmons take a bow back to 9th place at the end of that one. Michael Toward will round out your top 10, and on debut, Adam Hennessy finishes in 11th place in what has been such a turbulent race tonight. I am running out of words. I cannot get any more words out. There has been so much that has happened this evening, John. I don't know. Max Silver, in the end, after that early on incident, will come back to finish 14th, which you have to feel after being well and truly a lap down at the start of this one, has done a brilliant job to finish there.
He has, yeah, all action, all the time. It's called adrenaline GT racing for a very, very, very good reason. If that doesn't get the heart rate pumping, you might need to go and see a physician or a medical professional just to check that the ticker still works. But what an ending that was. Struick trying to get past Bishop, and of course Nicholson trying to get past Barton. Some great recovery drives as well by quite a few of the drivers. Let me just get myself the full race results in front of me, but that is quite the grandstand finish here, and a few drivers very close. Wood almost got past Gordon at the end, and I've broken my timetable. There we go. So Wood almost getting past Gordon at the end as well. So battles right down to the very end. But the two podium, second and third in both classes, absolutely right down to the end. 3/10 separating second and third, but it is Donetti and Bishop for BCG that bring home the top 2 spots. Struick in 3rd place in CP, and his teammate Holton in 6th position, bringing home a good points haul. But big shout out to Piper, and as you see, Hennessy, who on debut gets himself a very, very, very good result. And I could see certainly going to be some gin and juice and party time round at Hennessy's house, because that, for a debut performance, is not too bad at all, I would say, Isaac.
Not too bad at all. We will jump to the holding screen now as we await drivers to jump in for an interview. But yeah, what a race in the end that was, ladies and gentlemen. And starting to run out of a little bit of steam now. It's interesting, that is for sure. But look, let's have a chat to a driver, shall we? Let's get him in here and talk to the man that got his first Pro-Am class win for the season. Mo, we'll call him Mo, but he's better known as Bowen Piper on our screens. But I think it's the first time we've had the pleasure of having your company in the commentary box to have a chat. So welcome along, and first and foremost, congratulations on taking out the class victory tonight after that front row start.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I think this is my first win in AGT in general. So, the car felt really good tonight, and the pace was there to even stick it to a couple of pros here and there. But good fun.
Certainly looked like good fun out there. Once we got going once again after that red flag, talk us through. Obviously, we as a result of the red flag, we had a shortened race, 50 minutes. Did that change your strategy much at all, or did you still think it was going to be mostly a 50-50 split on the race?
Yeah, still mostly 50-50. It didn't change too much, apart from a bit of how much fuel you put in. But all in all, still great fun.
Talk us through that race start as well. You seem to go backwards a little bit? Was that always probably the expectation to fight it out with these pro guys and get your ears boxed a little bit, or was it just just have a bit of fun out there?
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to find myself up in
Me
second
too.
on the front row of the grid. So yeah, it was a bit exciting, but also nerve wracking. And I knew that those pro guys didn't want to stick around behind me. So it's just best to try and stay out of their way, but also try and stay as high as I can to get as many points towards my total as I can.
Absolutely. Well, talk to us about that. Obviously, you are, if I check my notes here, because I'm very thoroughly prepared as always, you are sitting 6th in the points at the moment for Pro-Am. This will no doubt jump you up a few spots. Is championship something that you're thinking about? I feel like that's a bit of an obvious question, but is championship something you're thinking about, or are you just sort of hoping that you'll find some good results and the point standings will come with it?
Well, it's been a bit of a rough start, but it feels like I'm starting to find some ground in the Mustang, and if that's the way that it's going, then a championship could definitely be on the table. So I'm excited to race against those other top pro-am guys and see how it all plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we let you go, next round where are we racing next time? We're racing at Watkins Glen. Is that a circuit you're looking forward to? And how are you feeling about the next round?
Oh, Watkins Glen's a great track. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get another class win.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Well, hopefully we'll have more opportunities throughout the season to have a chat to you. Thanks for jumping in. Before we do finally let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, it's got to be shout out to the Defy Motorsports team, the crew back there, giving me the support through the comms. So it's always great to have them in the party chat.
They are. I spend a lot of time around you guys, and it's a lot of fun in the Defy party chat. So no doubt they would have made the evening very enjoyable. Once again, Mo, congratulations on this evening, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again before the season's over. Thank
you, Isaac. Bye.
That was Mo Salazak, or that's the character from The Simpsons, but we call him Bowen Piper. So thanks very much to Bowen for jumping in. We'll bring in now the man that came 3rd place in the end this one, and I'll hand over to you, John, to have a chat to the man himself, Josh Struick.
Josh, yeah, a phenomenal drive there and a battle right down to the end. I mean, you really did throw the kitchen sink to get yourself up into 2nd place. But talk to us about the start of the race and pre-pit stop. You decided to stay out a bit longer than the rest of the field. It didn't quite work out. You came back out in 3rd place. Was the overcut something you were targeting, or is that something that just unfolded as the race went the way it did in that opening stint?
Yeah, it was something that I was targeting. I deliberately filled the car up a bit more so I could go long and then have fresh tyres at the end. I think that strategy worked if I didn't mess up the pit stop. I had a slightly slow pit stop because I didn't turn the car off quick enough. So that cost me a second or two, which means I would have come out ahead of Simon. So I think it could have worked, but then still maybe it wasn't the right idea. But yeah, it was a planned strategy.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly I declared that you were going to come out ahead of 3rd. So yeah, I'll come out ahead of 2nd. So yeah, the slightly slow pit stop does certainly explain that. Talk to us about that battle at the end, though. I mean, that was almighty. You were left with very little options there. The car ahead, the Audi, was doing some mighty fine defending, but you threw all your cards on the table in those final couple of laps and trying to get an overtake. How much fun was that battle towards the end there?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's annoying. It's hard to get past. I feel like Porsche doesn't quite have the top end compared to some of the other cars. So to try and make it work in the corners, which is a bit difficult. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Gave each other good space. So yeah, good fair racing.
Well, yeah, certainly as a viewer spectacle, we absolutely enjoyed that one. We've got Watkins Glen next time out. That's a much shorter, twistier course. You must be feeling confident going into that one with the Porsche underneath you.
Yeah, I think it will be good there, especially some of the high-speed corners too. hopefully I'll be able to actually put the race together a bit better than I did today, because it was just a little bit messy from my side today.
Yeah, well, they say great football teams always win even when they're playing badly. So even if you have a messy race, to get that close to second place and still be in contention for the race win as well, certainly no mean feat. So huge congratulations on the result tonight, and thank you for jumping in to talk to us. Before you go though, any of your teammates or anything you would like to say a thank you to?
I mean, thank you to Greenie for like organising the team and all that, and doing the liveries and all that stuff, and just generally thank you, my teammates. It's just good fun racing, and it's good to be doing it with them.
Indeed, yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. But yeah, huge congratulations again on the podium tonight, and very, very, very much looking forward to see what you do next week at Watkins Glen, and of course for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.
There we go then. Yeah, there we go, Isaac. That was Josh coming in from third place. I think we're now going to get the top two in once again. They are absolutely flying in those Audis at the minute, Isaac. And yeah, taking the top two spots once. It's a bit greedy, but we'll let them off.
Yeah, I think we have to we'll have to let them off the hook a little bit. We do welcome into the booth, gentlemen. Congratulations. Very action-packed night, a lot that happened this evening, but we'll start off with you first of all, Matt. The race win again this evening. You had the multi-21 last time, but you get the multi-1-2 this time.
Yep, I had Simon on the blower, to make sure he held up Jeech with all he could. So it's a odd one. Like, I should be more happy about it, but it was just a bit of a messy night overall, I think. So could have been better, could have been worse.
Yeah, it's a tough decision, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot of debate held by many people about what exactly happened. But there's rules and investigations that'll take place, and I'm sure that the correct decision will be made. So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much, mate, or feel too hard about it. But Simon, for you, second place this evening in this race, a really good result once again for both yourself and for the team. Talk to us about battling with Josh at the end of that race. It looked like a lot of fun, but you did make contact in turn one at some stage. It looked like.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a good night. I somehow avoided all the carnage through more luck than anything else on the first one, which was all good. And then the second one, yeah, I felt like, again, our cars were really good in the race, which is good. But, yeah, we just had a lot of work to do. And then we all just messed up our pit stops, which kind of worked out. And then, yeah, in the last, I just knew if I was good in certain places, I'd better hold Josh off. And then with 2 laps to go, I made a meal of one of the corners, which I understand is not on the stream, which is probably for the best. And then you caught me side by side with him later, and I was just like, yeah, I just had to give it a crack. But he's good to race with, so it was a good race. And yeah, I just kind of, I just wish I qualified a little bit better, but the qualifying was so close and everyone was so good. And it was amazing for Mo to put it on the front row in the Pro-Am car, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes back to what I said last week. Like, it's just, if you're just a tiny bit off, you just, it just made the race hard. But it was still a good result. And I was, if I'm going to get beaten by anybody, then being beaten by my teammate is probably the person to be.
Yeah, well, it certainly looks like a lot of fun out there. Yeah, I can confirm, unfortunately, fortunately for you, probably the server decided that I was no longer allowed to be a member of it and kicked me just before that battle, and we came back on the aftermath of it. So we just missed it. But yeah, it looks like a very close battle between you guys. Looks like a lot of fun. And as you said, it's so close and so competitive at the top end of this field, which is what we like to see, because you can be off by the smallest margin, but you can still be 4 or 5 spots back on the grid. So amazing stuff. And Matt, I have good news for you. As a result of tonight's victory, you do take the lead of the championship. So you do get that first spot back, which will be nice heading into Watkins Glen. Obviously, the next round we go super sprint racing at the Glen. How are you feeling in this car actually, this is probably a question for both of you, really. How are you feeling in this car at the Glen? Have you done any laps here before? Do you know what it's like, or what can we expect?
haven't done any laps, but there's one word ring in the back of my head that says bus stop and curbs. So I don't know about Simon, but I'm not holding my breath on a smooth ride through there.
Yeah, no, it'll be carnage. But the rest of the track will be pretty good. Like it'll the way that the track layout is there, it's going to really suit our car. So if we can get it to work, if we can just survive through the bus stop, I think it'll be pretty good.
Put the ride height right up.
Yeah, just raise the ride height up. That's right, and then you can just drive across it, can't you? But put some forward drive suspension on it if you want. Give it like a 2-inch lift and just drive straight across the curbs. I think that'll be fine. But no, look, we're looking forward to that, and congratulations to both of you this evening. Before we let you go, I'll start with you, Matt. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, say thanks to before we let you go?
I mean, Simon already sold this one a bit, but Mo and the Defy boys front row. I know they're working super hard, and he's getting bloody quick, and that's just another person to contend with at the front now, and it's an ever growing list, and it's making the races a lot harder because like Simon said, you miss the window ever so slightly in quality, and you're buried in the middle of the top 10, which just makes race that much harder. It doesn't matter if you've got a really good race car, it just makes it that much harder, So definitely big shout out to those guys, and as always, the family back home, Caitlin and her in-laws watching along. It's always cool to know they're watching and cheering on.
Yourself, Simon?
I would say actually to you guys in the admin team, because I realise it's not an easy decision to restart the race, but the race kind of did get ruined in the first run.
Yep.
So it was kind of the right thing to do, which is a sort of a brave thing to do, but ultimately ends up with a better product at the end of the day. And I'm also shout out everyone that hung around and did the race.
Yeah.
It's pretty late New Zealand time now, but it was fun. And I love those races where it's really, really tense. And I would take a race like I had with Josh tonight, finishing second over any of the wins that I have. So it's great to be able to hop on, race with people that understand how to race, and you can just have awesome battles with them. And we see it every race in the series for some reason, which is great for the people watching and indeed you guys commentating.
Yeah, absolutely. It's wonderful to commentate, and appreciate the shout out as well. It's never an easy call to red flag a race, and it was a call I had to make all by myself. And it says definitely looking at my my messages that I've received on Discord without even really reading them, it's definitely split opinions red flagging that race, and it led to a couple of mistakes where I will give a big shout out to Nathan Hutton and Josh Gordon, who I unfortunately missed when resetting the grid, and they had to start from the back. Nathan Hutton unfortunately didn't finish the race. He had to drive through, and then a couple other issues, which meant that he was out of the race. And Josh Gordon came back to finish, I believe, 14th, which is a wonderful result. So I'm very sorry to those guys, but it's a decision that we have to make, and we appreciate you guys sticking around and continuing to race, because it means that we got to watch that awesome battle between yourself and Josh. So thank you to you guys as well for showing up week in, week out, and putting time and effort into being a part of this league, because it's amazing to have you here. But once again, we'll let you go. We won't hold you up any longer, but congratulations, gents, and we look forward to seeing what you can do in 2 weeks' time at Watkins Glen.
Thank you muchly.
Appreciate it.
That was Simon Bishop and Matt Donetti there. It's, wow, John, what an evening of racing. It's certainly been, certainly going to be very highly talked about. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot for everyone to unpack, but we get to do this all again and I'll get it up on our screen, but we get to do this all again in 2 weeks' time at Watkins Glen.
Indeed we do, yes. The American track certainly throwing a spanner in the works here at the Brickyard. But as you say, it's the New York Super Sprint next. And yeah, I want to reiterate what Matt and Simon said there. Huge shout out to Isaac, who is running this whole thing single-handedly. So yeah, admin's time to step up. But yeah, running the broadcast and running the server and getting everything back up and running. A couple of minor issues to deal with as far as positioning goes there, but I think all in all, absolutely phenomenal job done by yourself, Isaac, to get everything ticking over. And also reiterate as well, yeah, anyone sending unpleasant messages, go and have a look in the mirror, please. behave yourself. Thank you very much. Manners cost nothing, and especially when you've got someone like Isaac doing the phenomenal job that he does. But the racing on track right down to the end, the final 2 podium positions in both classes were still undecided until the final few corners, and that is what AGT does. It provides some of the best racing you will see on YouTube. And Watkins Glen, 2 30-minute races round there with the drivers going absolutely at it. It's going to be a phenomenal spectacle. So make sure you're tuned in 2 weeks' time. You do not want to miss this race, I guarantee it.
Absolutely. Could not have said it better myself, John. Well, that'll do it for this evening. We thank you for sticking around. We know there was a lengthy break there in the middle while we tried to get things sorted to start going again for the red flag. We know it's a bit of a later night than we would usually be expected to, but we do appreciate you sticking around, engaging in the chat, and letting us know that you are watching and loving what we're doing. So from all of us here at AGT, we really appreciate that support. And again, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we go racing at Watkins Glen. We'll go bowling at the Glen, but hopefully there'll be a little less bowling and just a little bit more racing. Until then, stay safe, look after yourself, be kind to one another. I've been joined in the booth this evening by John Wright from TrackSpotTV. If you need any broadcasting at all, they're a lovely team over there. Head over to www.trackspot.tv for all your series broadcasting needs. Make sure you hit them up. And big thanks to John for jumping in the booth once again. He'll be back in 2 weeks, as will I. My name, of course, has been Isaac Fogarty. We will see you next time. And for now, it is bye-bye.